My friends, we are all at war, a constant raging battle that never stops. The enemy? It's not a foreign power or outside force. No, the enemy is within us. It's our own doubts, fears, insecurities, and limitations holding us back. We are at war with ourselves. How many of you have looked in the mirror and thought, I'm not good enough? How many of you have started a new endeavor only to be crippled by self-doubt? We are our own worst critics, our own biggest roadblocks to success. The battle begins the moment we open our eyes each morning. Will you hit the snooze button and surrender to comfort? Or will you rise and attack the day? Every decision, every choice is another battlefield where you either conquer yourself or succumb to the path of least resistance. Now I'm going to ask you some hard questions. Are you truly living up to your potential? Are you maximizing all the gifts and talents you've been blessed with? Or have you settled for mediocrity? Settled for good enough? Have you made excuses and compromises that keep you grounded while your dreams soar above you, mocking your lack of commitment? The greatest tragedy is not failing despite your best efforts. No. The real tragedy is failing to try, failing to fight, failing to unleash the total force of your human potential. That is a crime against yourself and the remarkable person you were meant to become. But you don't have to resign yourself to a life of unfulfilled dreams. You can win this war. You can become the captain of your destiny rather than a casualty of self-doubt and excuse-making. How? Through discipline, persistence, and a relentless refusal to give up on yourself. Through embracing discomfort as the catalyst for growth. Think about great athletes, warriors, or any person who became a champion. They didn't get there through complacency and avoiding hard work. They got there by constantly pushing past their limits. Let me ask you this. What is more grueling? The fleeting pain and sacrifice of pushing yourself to new heights? Or the slow, miserable, agonizing death of accepting a life far below your capabilities, which tortures the mind more? Intense training or crushing regret, and self-loathing from realizing all you could have done but didn't? You already experienced struggle and suffering in life. The question is, will it be the anguish of disciplined pursuit of your dreams, or the gnawing visceral ache of knowing you are capable of so much more but lack the courage to claim it? The path of least resistance is a gentle lull into mediocrity and unfulfilled potential. An endless loop of the same old routines, habits, and coping mechanisms that are slowly burying you in the grave of a life half-lived. Or you can choose the other path, the path of maximum resistance, effort, and discomfort. It's an uphill battle every single day, but it's also the path of growth, self-actualization, and giving everything you've got to become the person you were born to be. On this path, there are no shortcuts. You can't cheat yourself to greatness with positive affirmations or motivational social media posts. This path requires real, sustained sacrifice in pursuit of an extraordinary life. You have to continually assault your comfort zones, stretch your capabilities through disciplined effort in the realms of health, education, career, relationships, anything of true importance. You must become acclimated, even embracing of discomfort as the driving force propelling you to new heights. It's going to be grueling. There will be setbacks and pitfalls. You'll be tempted to quit 1,000 times over. That's good, because every time you overcome that impulse and keep pressing forward, you'll grow stronger, more resilient, more able to conquer the inevitable future obstacles in your way. You'll discover new reservoirs of grit and willpower that you never knew existed. You'll be forced to evolve beyond your limited self-perceptions of what you're capable of. Embrace the brutality of self-improvement. It's the fire that will forge you into an unstoppable force. This path is not for the timid. It's for the daring, the bold, those who'd rather burn out than rust away in a sedentary pool of unexplored potential. Those who want to look back at the end with no regrets, knowing they gave every ounce of energy to become the best version of themselves. So make your choice. Do you want to merely exist, or do you want to transcend? To live a life where you left absolutely nothing on the table. where you achieve mastery over your fears, doubts, and self-imposed limits. One path is paved with excuses, complacency, and slowly dwindling self-respect. The other is chiseled from the granite of discipline, courage, and relentless self-improvement against all inner resistance. The choice to dedicate yourself to winning the war against your greatest enemy, yourself, that choice must be made anew every single day through your actions. I'll leave you with one final thought. When your self-doubts and laziness try to convince you that greatness is too much effort, remember, you cannot cheat the mirror test. When you look into that unforgiving glass, you'll never regret the sweat and sacrifice required to become the strongest, most extraordinary version of yourself, but you will regret the years spent cowering from your true potential. So decide today to stop battling yourself and start unleashing the warrior within. Shock yourself with efforts you never thought possible. Embrace the daily discomfort of growth and personal mastery. Decide that from this day forward, there is no force on earth as powerful and unstoppable as your commitment to win the war against the only enemy that can truly defeat you, the limited perceptions of your own unconquered mind. The path to greatness is forged through unbending commitment and iron discipline. Wishful thinking and hoping for change will only leave you stuck in the same cycles of mediocrity. No, to effect real transformation in your life, you must take profound action, daily action, relentless action in the face of your fears, insecurities, and that ever-present voice of doubt. That negative inner voice will try to convince you that you don't have what it takes, that you're punching above your weight class by aspiring to something greater. Let me be clear. That is a lying coward's voice attempting to keep you small and unfulfilled. You wouldn't listen to someone on the outside trying to squash your dreams. So why listen to that self-defeating voice from within? Discipline is the antidote to doubt. It's the sustained, purposeful effort that clear away the mental clutter and distractions until all that's left is focused, unstoppable forward momentum towards your ultimate goals. With discipline as your driving force, there is no confusion or second-guessing. There is only pragmatic progress each and every day. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Sure, discipline sounds great, but where do I even begin? You begin by establishing unwavering standards for yourself, not based on anyone else's expectations, but based on your own core values and vision for your greatest self. Once you've set those high standards, you then wake up every morning with an ethical obligation to uphold them through your actions and efforts, no matter what obstacles or negative voices try to derail you. Fall short one day? That's fine. Recover, adjust, and redouble your commitment the next day. But never move the goalposts or lower your standards to convenience yourself. Let's take health and fitness as an example. You can set a standard of exercising every single day, no matter how busy your schedule gets. No more hit or miss efforts that lead nowhere. You claim ownership over your body and well-being through steadfast physical training. Over time, this forges incredible self-respect, confidence, and pride. You'll begin seeing yourself in a whole new light, as someone with the focus and determination to take full command of their physical vessel rather than falling victim to laziness or unhealthy habits. The same discipline applies to intellectual development. You can set a standard of reading, researching, and learning something new every single day to continually expand your knowledge and capabilities. No more going months or years without stretching your mind's muscles. Whether it's taking an online course, attending seminars, reading books, or carving out daily periods of deep study, you'll transform into someone who is constantly acquiring new skills, abilities, and profound wisdom to apply in all areas of life. Ignorance, complacency, and playing small will become unconscionable to your new disciplined mindset. In your career, discipline means signing up for that new certification. It's seeking out opportunities to take on more responsibility and develop expertise far beyond your current duties. It's making the quality of your work a source of tremendous pride rather than just collecting a paycheck. In relationships, discipline could manifest as daily expressions of gratitude for your loved ones, as checking your ego and conflict, avoiding behaviors to nurture deeper intimacy and trust, as being fully present when together rather than distracted. Do you see the common thread? Discipline is simply training yourself toward the highest standards across all dimensions of your life. It's refusing to let convenience, fear, or listless apathy dictate your choices and actions. Discipline is self-love through effort. Now, I need to address one of the most pernicious foes to discipline and achievement: perfection paralysis. This is the tendency to endlessly plan, research, and ponder an endeavor rather than taking imperfect action and course-correcting along the way. Perfectionists are professional procrastinators. They resolutely avoid risk, failure, or feeling exposed by immobilizing themselves through endless planning rather than doing. Well, here's some tough love. Nothing great is accomplished through planning alone. At some point, you have to muster the courage to bet on yourself and take assertive, imperfect action towards your goals. I'm reminded of the famous quote, "A river cuts through a rock, not because of its power, but its persistence." Consistent effort trumps incredible force when it comes to achieving great things in your life. So don't wait until the timing is perfect or you've eliminated every possible obstacle, because you'll be waiting forever. Instead, resolve that done is better than perfect. Break your overarching vision down into manageable first steps and take that first imperfect step immediately. Then another, then another. Don't overanalyze or cripple yourself through perfectionism. Experience and constant iteration is what will refine and improve your endeavors, not fantasy island planning. Speaking of vision, you must paint a vivid mental picture of the life and virtues you want to embody, because without that inspiring vision pulling you forward, discipline alone can feel burdensome and unsustainable. Discipline is the means, but your vision, your reasons why, that is the crucial end that empowers discipline. So get clear on the person you want to be. What principles like courage, integrity, resilience, or generosity of spirit do you want to exemplify? What impact do you want to have on the world around you? What cause or art will you dedicate yourself to mastering and proliferating? Let your vision for your best life be your gleaming lighthouse cutting through the fog of complacency and doubt. Let it be the juggernaut motivation that catalyzes discipline as a natural expression of your deepest values and aspirations. When you fuse clear vision with disciplined action, you'll enter a rarefied realm of achievement where quitting or settling is no longer an option. Each success and milestone you reach will only leave you hungrier to experience the upper limits of your potential across all dimensions of your life. This upward spiraling path is available to any of us at any time. The decision to embark on the journey of continual growth, discipline, and self-actualization awaits your committed choice. A choice that must be consciously renewed through your efforts every single day until it becomes a core leading philosophy of your life. So my friends, don't settle for a day longer. Shed the chains of old habits, embrace the struggle of change, and prepare yourself to fight the only battle that really matters. The war against the internal enemy of all that's mediocre within you. The path will be arduous, but the prize is the one thing worth waging war for: becoming the highest, truest, most extraordinary version of yourself. The path I'm urging you to take, this journey of continual self-mastery and evolution, it is not the easy road. In fact, it is brutally and unrelentingly difficult. There will be days when your body aches with the strain of pushing past limitations, when your mind begs for reprieve from the intensity of sustained effort and focus required. I'd ask you, what is the real cost of choosing comfort, of succumbing to the weak motivations of escapism, apathy, and taking the path of least resistance? The cost is a life half-lived, a constant gnawing sensation that you are falling drastically short of your true divine inspired capabilities as a human being. Now, the easy path is tempting, I understand. It's immediately gratifying to indulge our base impulses, to prioritize pleasure relaxation, and emotional convenience over striving and productive struggle. Our animalistic hardwiring is oriented towards following the path of least voluntary effort required to survive and reproduce. But we are not mere animals. We are humans blessed with elite reasoning capabilities and unlimited potential to ascend as beings of purpose, contribution, and self-actualized mastery, to resign ourselves to living out animalistic, reactionary tendencies is nothing short of shrinking from our greatest privilege, the power of reasoned choice and radical self-determination. The path I'm inviting you to walk is nothing less than an evolutionary journey to unleash the full magnitude of your human spirit and God-given gifts. It's choosing to seize command of your life's trajectory through sheer indomitable force of will and refusal to resign yourself to a default, meandering existence. Now let me be clear. This will not be a perfectly linear, perpetually inspired, or perpetually motivated journey. There will be periods of doubt, fatigue, disillusionment, and near despair. Moments when you question why you chose this arduous, uphill battle rather than resigning yourself to a more conventional life. In those moments, you must resolve that any trace of greatness on the distant horizon, no matter how fog-shrouded, is worth enduring any fleeting hardship to seize in your two hands. Remind yourself that life's greatest achievements are born from the refusal to surrender to periods of chaos, doubt, and disorientation. For it is forged in the crucible of those grueling testing periods when you're being tempered into a stronger, more resilient, and more capable version of yourself. The path won't deliver a strong life. It will forge you into a stronger person, armed with the emotional armor to handle any adversity that lies ahead. In this process of transformative perseverance, you'll shed numerous limiting identities of who you used to be. Old narratives of self-imposed constraints will melt away as you realize they were illusions fabricated by your own fear and lack of imagination. With each rebirth of expanded perspective and heightened performance, you'll know with crystalline clarity that your future transcendent self is approaching ever nearer. That greatness is no longer some far-flung ambitious, but an inevitability cast in iron resolution and purposeful habitual action. You'll also experience compounding momentum towards your biggest dreams and ambitions. As you move forward, no matter how humbly you start, you'll experience cascading breakthroughs and epiphanies. Each new level of realization, knowledge, and skill acquisition will unlock access to another higher realm of performance and possibility that was previously unimaginable to you. Progress begins slowly, then it accelerates at an ever-quickening exponential rate. Solutions and open gateways start appearing at every turn. Your mind expands to contextualize larger and grander ambitions as your recent accomplishments show you what's possible when you outwork, out-discipline, and out-hustle any temporary obstacles in your path. Soon, you'll crave the fantastic feeling of constant forward momentum through productive discomfort and effortful difficulties overcome. The pride of staring down fears and limitations will become more seductive than sedentary comforts. You'll find emotional and even spiritual sustenance in pouring the entirety of your life force into transcending your previous self. In essence, the path towards self-mastery becomes a source of boundless inner wealth, joy, and deep gratification, more so than any fleeting pleasure or escapist indulgence. You'll uncover the great paradox that embracing voluntary struggle is the purest path towards abiding contentment and peace of mind. Because those transient comforts can only temporarily mask the void of untapped potential and unlived ambitions. That inner disquiet will gnaw at you constantly until you set forth on the heroic path of actualizing your highest self through discipline, grit, and resilience. Now let me be crystal clear. There will be periods of failure, setbacks, false starts, and painful lessons learned along this journey. That's not just permitted, it's absolutely mandatory for the kind of spectacular growth I'm urging you toward. Show me a person who has achieved greatness without tasting the humility of failure, and I'll show you a fabulist. But failure is only tragic if you embrace it as a permanent condition, as long as it remains a temporary catalyst for insight, recalibration, and enhanced future efforts. Failure is simply the admission fee for accessing higher levels of knowledge, wisdom, and performance mastery. The key is developing the psychological and emotional fluency to welcome failure as a guide towards iterating and amplifying your efforts. To view it not as a soul-crushing rebuke, but as crucial feedback data to integrate into your next metamorphic evolution forward. Because make no mistake, you absolutely must evolve. You cannot remain stagnant. You are either moving towards conquering your highest aim for ambitions and self-actualizing your grand visions, or you are slowly atrophying and evolving by evading all tests of sustained voluntary effort and calculated risk. Remaining inert, remaining the same, remaining in your comfort zone, these are all just different terms for spiritual and human withering, for succumbing to a living death of perpetuated mediocrity and abandoning the greatness you are destined for. So, it comes down to a simple choice. Outside of the two paths I've outlined today, the path of comfort and resigned smallness, or the path of embraced growth through disciplined struggle and striving, there is no third option available to you as a human being endowed with consciousness and unlimited potential. You must choose daily which one you'll commit yourself towards. Not just flirtingly ponder, but fully immerse yourself within. Because the path of least resistance doesn't require wholehearted commitment. It's just a gradual dissolving of possibilities through inertia. But the path of self-actualization through voluntary struggle and transcendence of every previous limitation. That path demands everything you've got, including relinquishing every hollow excuse, coping mechanism, and bad habit that's keeping you shackled in mediocrity. So make the choice. Shed every inhibition and fear. Bring all your dreams into clear, vivid focus. Slay the inner demons of insecurity, apathy, and resignation. And step forth onto your destined path of sustained self-mastery and maximized human flourishing. It won't be easy. In fact, it will be brutal and unrelenting. But that's precisely what will force you to evolve into the architect of your heroic life's journey, rather than a passive spectator. The choice has never been simpler, and the stakes have never been greater. Resign yourself to perpetual smallness and unfulfilled potential, or ascend through voluntary struggle towards the brightest glory and self-actualization your limitless human spirit is capable of achieving. The choice, as always, is yours. But for those with spine of steel and biggest ambitions, there is only one choice. It's finally time to enlist as a warrior for your highest life ambitions and win the war against you.